everybody, it's good to have you here again. This is Pedro making a video about what I learned in 2018. But before I start, there is a little surprise. Someone wants to talk to you. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bam.
Hi guys.
This is my daughter. What's your name?
Bianca.
And what do you like doing?
Playing with LOL.
Playing with what?
LOL dolls.
Oh yeah, those expensive dolls that we have to spend money on. Right?
Yes. And all the followers that like Dada, write down in the comments.
Yeah, so if you like Dada, write down in the comments. Good girl, high five. That's my girl. What do you want to be when you grow up? Please don't say a YouTuber. What do you want to be when you grow up?
YouTuber.
Oh, jeez, man. Something else.
A YouTuber.
No, something else.
Why can't I be a YouTuber?
Okay, you can be a YouTuber. Go. Go, girl. You see, this is ridiculous. Like, we have come to a point where the main profession, let me fix this thing here. The main choice of profession for the future is YouTuber. Can you believe that? Like, if you ask, this is statistical. If you ask kids, like my daughter's age, my daughter's 7. So if you ask kids my daughter's age, what do you want to be when you grow up? Ain't nobody saying a police officer. Ain't nobody saying a doctor. Ain't nobody saying nothing like that. What they want to be is a YouTuber. Why? Because YouTubers are influencers. Wow. This is just the tipping point of a narcissistic society. But anyway, this is not what I'm here to talk about. I may talk about this at the end of this video, but if you like what I'm gonna share, stick around to the end because every single second is worth your attention, okay? So this is me, Pedro, sharing what I learned in 2018. If you've been around my channel for a while, you probably have watched the video where I talk about the books. So the first lesson is read, please, read, read, read. What can I do with my life, Pedro? Read, freaking read. Why? Because reading is accumulated wisdom compacted in a few pages. Like, this took me a week to read. This is 300 pages worth of wisdom about storytelling, brands, and all of that. So read, man, read. If I cannot stress enough, read, listen to audios, podcasts, whatever. So if you haven't watched the video where I talk about the books I read in 2018, and if you're not a very avid reader, you can pick up the book selection from that video. On the description of this video, there's the link to the other one. You can watch it. And yeah, feel free to share. Feel free to learn whatever you want to learn from that. Leave your comments below. That's going to be awesome. I really want to hear what you want to say. So on this video, I'm going to talk about what I learned personally in 2018. Not just from the books, but personally. I read through a lot of things, a lot of channels. One of them is podcasts, which is like huge in my life. Podcasts are all over. I have a list of hundreds of podcasts. Whenever I'm running, driving, studying, whenever I'm listening to a podcast. Very rarely you will find me listening to music on my iPhone. It is always podcasts because I'm learning. So here we go, podcasts and lessons from life in 2018. First podcast that I want to mention to you is a podcast that is held by a pastor of a church, which is cool because he's very entrepreneurial too. His name is Carey Nieuwhof, and to your surprise and my surprise, he is in Canada. He's not in America, so he's not running with the big dogs. Who cares? For me, this is one of the best podcasters on earth today, and rest assured that more than half of my podcasts have nothing to do with church. Like, I listen to a lot of business stuff, a lot of self-awareness stuff, meditation, motivation, education, technology. And Carey Nieuwhof is, for me, one of the best interviewers of all times. Amazing. So get your hands on it because he interviews a lot of people, not just church leaders, but a lot of people in very different areas. And I want to try to bring one nugget out of a podcast or anything that I absorb content from to you in this video. So from Carey Nieuwhof in 2018, this is what I got. Okay, this is what I got. You will get the culture you deserve. You will get the culture you deserve. Can you understand that? Like, it's not anybody's fault. It's like the culture you live in, and if you're leading anything, if you're leading an organization, leading the business, you're leading the church, you're leading your family, if the culture you find yourself in is not satisfactory, it's your fault. Don't blame it on the universe. Don't blame it on the next one. Don't blame it on the neighbor. Don't blame it on the economy. Don't blame it on Trump. That's for sure. Especially if you're like me in Brazil. I live in Brazil. Trump has nothing to do with what I do anyway. Or maybe he does. Who cares? Don't blame on anybody else. Take ownership, and everything that is around you, your culture, you will get the culture you deserve. That's Gary Newhoff. Shout out to Gary Newhoff. Man, amazing podcast. Believe it or not, he replied to a few of my messages at some point. So this is really cool. Authenticity. Leaders need authenticity. Talking about authenticity, here's the next guy that this guy is one of my mentors. Like, I've never met him. Probably never will. He pastors a huge church. More than 150,000 people gather together every Sunday to listen to this guy in different locations. More than 1 million people listen to this guy every weekend. More than 1 billion people downloaded the Bible app on the phone because of this guy and because of his friend, what's his name? Bob Grunwald. But anyway, Craig Groeschel. That's the guy, Craig Groeschel. He's a pastor. He's a very entrepreneurial leader. And he's a very, very impressive, thoughtful leader. Okay, you want to listen to this guy. He's got a leadership podcast that releases a new episode every single month, I guess, a week. I listen to him so much that I don't even know, because wherever his name is, I'm listening to it. Craig Groeschel, you should get your hands on this podcast. You will learn tons of it, because Gary Newhoff is an amazing interviewer. Craig Groeschel is an amazing summarizer, if this is a word. He gets a huge piece of wisdom and content, puts in one sentence, and you go like, what the freak? Why didn't I think about this before? That's him. So listen to him. One nugget from 2018, Craig Groeschel. Here we go. You can have control or you can have growth, but you cannot have both. Wow. Hippie-yo, hippie-yay. I remember just like when I was a kid listening to hip-hop. Anyway, you can have control or you can have growth, but you can't have both. What do you want to do? Do you want to control your organization or you want to grow your organization? If you want to control it, that's fine. Stick it to yourself. If you want to grow it, then you have to delegate. You have to trust people. You have to train people. You have to inspire people. And that's not a very easy task to accomplish. But anyway, you can have control or you can have growth, but you cannot have both. McManus, he's in, where is he? Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, I don't know. McManus, he's got a podcast called Battle Ready. Really good. Him and his son doing interviews. The nugget I got in 2018. Wounds and pains and injuries are okay. You can play through them. But you can't play through fear. Fear is paralyzing. Pain is motivating. Wow, think about that for a minute. Injuries and pain and contusions, they're gonna happen. It happens in life. Obstacles appear in life. You will suffer in life. But that's manageable. But now fear is paralyzing. He told a story once about when he was playing basketball, and he was playing fearlessly, and then he twisted an ankle. A couple of weeks after his recovery, he couldn't play just as fearlessly as he was playing before, because he feared that he was gonna get injured again. So fear is paralyzing. Now, non-church leaders, here we go. Man, get your head around this. Gary Vaynerchuk, more popularly known as Gary V. Where can I find Gary V? Everywhere. Freak, man, this guy is everywhere. If you type Gary V on Google, you'll find like 37 different social media channels. It's just like YouTube, Vimeo, Snapchat. Can you believe it? This guy's still on Snapchat. He still uses Snapchat. So Facebook, Instagram, websites, whatever. Like whatever you watch, Gary V is amazing. Now, word of caution. He curses like hell. Like he curses a lot, man. He curses a lot. Every single sentence he says there's a curse. But hey, it's still wisdom. Who cares? So Gary V, one piece of nugget that I got in 2018. Hashtag I am in control. I am in control. No one decides my destiny. No one. And that goes along with what Carey Nieuwhof said. You get the culture you deserve. So don't blame it on anybody else. Blame it on you. Not a pastor again, business leader. However, the guy who wrote The Miracle Morning that I cited on the other video, one piece of nugget I got from his podcast is, and things different from his book. Not all questions are created equal. Not all questions are created equal. You know the sentence, what is it? All humans are created equal. I think this is like we're all equal, before God and all that, and that's amazing. But questions are not the same. Not all questions are created equal. And if you're leading anything, people will ask you questions, and you have to discern what questions come packaged with bad intentions on it. Another guy, business guy, amazing guy, wrote a book called The Atomic Habit. Atomic Habits, or Atomic Habit. Talks about small habits, not the power of habits like Charles Duhigg, which is an amazing book too, but Atomic Habits. James Clear. He's a scholar, so it's more about research, which is great. Sometimes you gotta read some research to make sure what we're talking about is really true. Charles Duhigg is good too. It's very good research, very thorough. But when it comes to James Clear, Atomic Habits, one nugget. 1% better every day will make you 37 times better at the end of the year. So if anything you want to do, like I've tried it. Like I want to start exercising. Don't go to the gym thinking you're gonna lift 150 kgs on your chest. It ain't happening. Okay, just put 10 kgs on each side of the thing and just like get a small dumbbell and just do it with that one. Oh, but they're gonna ridicule me on the gym. Well, rest assured, you will feel ridiculous if that bar falls on your chest. So don't go for the big thing. Small 1% increment every day throughout the year will make you 37 times better. That's something to think about, and that's scientific. Okay, that's just proven. If you don't believe me, look him up. James Clear, Atomic Habits, 1% increments. Put that on YouTube. You see what I'm talking about. Another leader. This guy is a pastor of a church called Geoff Keighley. Geoff Keighley. How do I pronounce his name? I never knew. He's a good friend. I've given 3 interviews, I think, to his podcast. His podcast is called 200 Churches. 200 Churches. It's made for churches that have less than 200 people on it. Geoff Keighley is amazing, and one piece of nugget for this year is this. Couples generally seek for help after 7 years of the problem. Well, I'm a pastor of a church. I'm 35 years old. I'm a father of 1, soon to be 2. And I deal with problems every single day. And I deal with marriage problems very often. And what I have found is that Geoff Keighley is really, really on point on this, because most of the people that have come asking for help and guidance and counseling, the problem's been there for like 5, 6, 7 years. So don't wait until the problem blows up on your face. Just be quick, ask for help. Ain't no shame in it, okay? Judah Smith. Everybody knows Judah Smith. If you don't know Judah Smith, type it up. You should know Judah Smith. One of the best communicators of all time. He is a pastor. He's a great communicator. Piece of nugget. If you're bored, it's because you are boring. I tell that to my child. If you're bored, it's because you're boring. Find something interesting to do. Use your creativity. So, great. Judah, you're amazing. Another guy, this guy's a special guy for me. Okay, it's 15 minutes in the video. If you've watched it so far, it's because you trust me. So here you go. Piece of nugget. You have to watch this. You have to listen to this one. This guy is called Marshall Gray. You never heard of him. Probably never will. Why? Because he's my pastor. He pastors a church in the Gold Coast, beautiful place in Australia. Look at the sun shining right now. Like this is monumental. This is divine. It was made for this moment. Anyway, Marshall Gray. He's my pastor, 20 years of experience. Amazing. So many pieces of nuggets. I'm gonna read this to you because it's amazing. There are 3 types of people in the tribe. They're the chief, the Indians, and the medicine man. Who's the most important one? The chief, the Indians, and the medicine man. And he told me once, the medicine man is the most important one because everybody comes to him when there's no answer. When they're sick, when they need help, they come Sure. So, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the chief? Do you want to be the Indian? Or do you want to be the medicine man? Impatience happens because of lack of understanding. Sometimes when people come to you with a problem, you go like, oh, no, I don't have enough patience to these people. These people are just weak, man. I say that all the time. Sorry. Like, if you're part of my church, you know that I'm so sorry. I should be a better pastor. Anyway, he gave me an example. Imagine this. In a hospital room, there's a child screaming as loud as he can. Everything he has in his lungs. And the father's trying to hold the kid, and the mother's crying. And then out in the hallway, there's this guy yelling, "Shut this kid up! Why is this kid shouting like that?" Why is he shouting? Why is he impatient like that? Because he doesn't understand what's going on. And in that scenario, that kid could have been in a fire. It's all burned. And the doctors are trying to take the skin out of his bones so the doctors can, put the medication in and treat and take care of the boy. So, impatience happens because of lack of understanding. So, if you're impatient with anything or anyone, try to step on their shoes and try to understand the situation through a different lens. I bet you, you're gonna feel better. So that's Marshall, great, amazing. So I learned a few other things. Another great mentor of mine that I've been listening for years, Seth Godin. Wrote so many books, man. Seth Godin wrote more books than you and I will probably ever read in our lifetime. It's just amazing. He's a marketing guru. Here's what I learned from him in 2018. The safest thing you can do is to take risk. And the riskiest, if that's a word, the most risky thing you can do is to play it safe. So the safest thing you can do is to take risks. And the most risky thing you can do is to play it safe. In the world we're living in, you're either unique or you're worthless. There's no room for competition in our economy. I don't think there is. You're either the best or you're worthless. And you can battle for the second and third place, but no one wins second place. You lost. That's it. So get that in your mind. Simon Sinek, we already talked about him on his books. Start with Why Leaders Eat Less, The Infinite Game. Simon Sinek, don't convince anyone to follow you. Inspire them. Don't convince anyone to follow you. Inspire them. If I was to convince people to follow me, man, I would have a hard time. Why? Well, I don't fit the profile. That's what I think. And again, it's 19 minutes in the video. I'm about to finish. I promise you. Another 3 or 4 minutes. But if you listen to this point, it's because you trust me, you believe me. If I were to convince people to follow me in wherever I do, I would fail. Why? Because I don't fit the profile. I'm too tall for the average. I'm too rude. I'm too pretentious. Not as handsome as most of the guys would be in leadership positions anyway, at least the ones I've seen. Man, there are some handsome guys. This is a perfect leader right there. Beautiful faces, man. Convince people. That's not my case, all right? So I let my beard grow because I could look a little bit different.
I like it when his beard is like this, and when he cuts his hair, and then he stays out bald, because that's more fun. That's more fun.
You see what I'm talking about? Like that face over here ain't convincing anyone. So don't convince anyone. Inspire them. How do you inspire them? Through your acts, through your words. Just be yourself, man. Be yourself. Don't try to be anybody else. If you try to be anybody else, man, it's not going to work. So there's enough anybody else's in the world. God created them, and God created you. We need you. Be yourself. Last one, Tay Lopez. Let me see what Tay Lopez says. While you're resting, there is a kid in the gym practicing, and one day he will beat your ass. That's his quote. There's always a kid practicing in the gym, and if you slack off, he will beat your ass. So that's a Kobe Bryant mentality, the Mamba mentality. That's Tay Lopez. So practice hard. Practice. And again, practice makes it perfect, not original. But if you want to make it to the top, you want to make it to the elite, practice. Put in the hard work. Last but not least, Tony Robbins. Tony, Robbins, needs no introduction. Nugget for the year. 3 decisions that control your life. What are you focusing on? What does that mean to you? And what did you decide to do with it? What are you focusing on? What does that mean? And what do you decide to do with it? So, if you ask yourself those 3 questions in any situation, you will be very happy. Now, so we can close, we're gonna get you 25 minutes on YouTube. This is, I don't think anybody watches 25 minutes on YouTube, but here we go. On the same thing, like I'm being so arrogant thinking that people are gonna watch this, but anyway, here we go. If you've watched it, you're one of the few. You're one of the few, one of a kind. What I learned from life in 2018. There's a difference between information and inspiration. Information and inspiration. And if you wanna somehow influence people, it's 80% about inspiration, 20% about information. People can find information anywhere. You know, it's called Google. These days, you don't even need to read, man, these days. Although I am a very fan of reading, and I tell everybody to read it. You don't need to read. You know, the books. Man, there's an app. You know that ad, there's an app for everything? There is an app called Blinkist that they summarize books in 10 to 12 minutes. You pay, I think, $6 or $8 a year, or a month. And then you have access to hundreds of books. And they summarize it for you in 12 minutes. Oh, I don't want to pay for it. There's plenty of YouTube channels summarizing the books like this one you're watching right now. So, yeah. I mean, reading, again, amazing. I like it, but it's not really necessary. If you want to be wise, there's lots of ways to become wise these days. So, information and inspiration. What should you focus on? Focus on inspiring people, because they can find the information anywhere else. Be true to yourself. That's a very good lesson. Be true to yourself. Who are you? So me, for example, I'm a preacher, I'm a pastor, but I like hats. I love hats. I've got more than 20 hats in my house. I like hats. It's part of me. So I wear a hat. Well, people don't like hats. I don't care. I could say something bad here like Gary Vee, but I'm not going to do it. So I don't care. I like hats. This is me. I like the way I dress. I like the way I am. I like the way I speak. And if you don't like it, you can find someone else. You can find somewhere else, because information is available in lots of places. Don't have any regrets. That's the 3rd lesson. You see, do not have any regrets. So, you want to try jumping from a skydiving thing, just do it. Go ahead and do it. But it's too risky. I don't know if I should do it.
You're crazy. If you do that, don't do it. You can hurt yourself like I did. Because I hurt myself. When I was running, I hit on my friend's head. And then my gums, it was all blood. I had to wait like 5 days for me to recover.
But hey,
and it was all purple.
Here's the lesson. Had it not been for that experience, you would still be afraid of running and skating. So for me, it's worth it, because now you're a good skater.
For me, it's not.
Well, you're still 7 years old. You know nothing, girl. You learn. What a great way to finish. What a great way to finish this video. You know, she just jumped.
Don't trust him, because trust me. Don't do that. Look both ways before you run.
Oh my gosh. Do not trust him. Trust her. You watched for 25 minutes and you just found out from the mouth of a 7-year-old. Do not trust this guy in the video. That's a great way to finish. Last nugget of the year 2018. Life is way more than you think, and life is way less than you think. So if you find yourself stuck in a situation, don't be upset. Life is way more than you think. And if you think you have all the time in the world, hurry up, because life is way less than you think. That will close for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you had a great time. And next time or next year, who knows, another video for you with the lessons from the books and life from Pedro and Bianca and everybody else who wants to jump in the video. All right.
And subscribe.
Subscribe to the channel. Yes, subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments. We love it. God bless.